And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this special edition here of Crunch Time. Here, of course, here's Shirley Charles Prodigy Richey. As you may recognize me, I'm the host of the Bastille podcast, and of course, on deck, which is usually on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, which I'll be making a return to next Saturday at 1 o'clock. Got a very special podcast to get into today, by the way. It's going to be mostly NFL playoffs, but I definitely want to keep things local here and tip things off with the Chicago Bulls, first and foremost, at the forefront right now. Uh, as pretty much first month into the 75th season of the NBA right now. And of course, the Chicago Bulls, I mean, who's been around the block a long time right now. Right now, under a new regime right now, trying to get things figured out, trying to be, if anything, any semblance of a playoff team here. And when you look at where they're at right now, they're currently at 4-8 to start off the year. And we'll delve into a little bit more better and see what Billy Donovan, the head coach, has more in store for this team. But like I said, we're going to get into some Bulls basketball. Then we're going to transition. Next two segments, we're going to be talking some NFL divisional round playoffs. You could definitely check out first and foremost the NFC divisional round playoffs. Today is the very first game of the week. Is be the LA Rams traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers right there against Aaron Rodgers right there, which I think is going to be a very dubious task right now, more particularly for the Rams right now, who hasn't won in a long time. It's been nearly 15 years since they won a game in Green Bay, and we'll see if they're able to pull it off. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be a dubious challenge right now. Rams are trying to be the third team in LA to join the Lakers and the Dodgers to contributing a world championship. I mean, within a span of a 4 month period, which is crazy for a town that hasn't had a championship in about close to 7 years. I mean, pretty much. I mean, since the LA Kings won back in 2014 the Stanley Cup. So that's where we stand at right now, and we'll give you more at it. But once again, if you guys want to follow me on social media, you can definitely do so. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Prodigy Richie. For the Men Steel podcast on Twitter, it is at Men Steel CGR and at Men Steel Nation on Instagram. And then that's about it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Chicago Bulls basketball right now. Chicago Bulls right now. I've been losing some key games right now. Last night they just lost a very big heartbreaker, pretty much to the Oklahoma City Thunder last night. The final on that game was 125-127. So far this year, the Bulls on the road right now, playing this year. They had 8 road games. They are 3-5, and then they are currently at home 1-3. I mean, for an overall record of 4-8, 12th in the Eastern Conference right now. I think a lot of people have probably been expecting a little bit more of a resurgence, but I'm not so sure right now how much this team is going to go far right now. I mean, with Billy Donovan, I mean, you look at the task right now, what he's trying to do, gives that next step that Jim Boylan failed to do. I mean, within his previous 2 seasons, since he was a head coach right now. I think the real key experience to a lot of these guys right now, when you really truly look at it, I mean, you look at a lot of the guys right here, I mean, who's been, I mean, you look at the names on the squad that really come to mind here and who's been having a little bit more of a longer stay. I mean, talk about like number one right now, Zach LaVine right now. He's leading the team in points per game, I mean, for this season, but yet he's also leading the team in turnovers right now as we take a look at it. Uh, I mean, that's the thing right there. I think that's very troubling right now because, like yesterday, for example, you take a look at it this way. They had 22 point lead, for instance, against the Thunder. Somehow we're able to let that get down to 14 points with about a little over 4 minutes uh, left in the regulation right there, and just could not capitalize on it. And I think that was just very, I think, disheartening right there when you look at it. I mean, anytime you're up by that many points, and I mean, yes, in basketball, we see when teams could shoot threes or be able to drive and control paint. grab some rebounds, and just play some good defense, how they can still manage to stick around. And look at what's happening right there. Nothing. They just had just laid an egg in that game. No pun intended, to say the least. But here they are right now. They're going to be trying to end a 4-year playoff drought, and we'll see. I mean, right now, I think if anything, what you're looking from this team, you're definitely be asking for a lot of time and patience. But I mean, at the same time, too, I mean, this Bulls team, I mean, with this youth, I mean, a lot of times, I mean, how many times they go through, I mean, rebuilds at the end of the day and try to make things right. I mean, and how much is Arturas Karnisovas right now going to finally get this team the mile in his own image right now? I mean, aside from it being outside of Jerry Reinsdorf, since you're moved on from with the likes of your former executive vice president, uh, John Paxson, and your former GM or foreman, what's going to take for this team to get to the next step? How are they going to find a way to grow up together? Because you still got some good, decent veterans here on this club. When you take a look at, I mean, to say the least, right now, when we look at their current roster right now, when we look at it too, I mean, take a look at points per game here. I mean, you still got a guy right here. I mean, in here. I mean, on this roster, who's been doing some good stuff right now. Aside from it, we look at a guy like Otto Porter Jr. right now, averaging 12.4 points per game, and still managing to shoot pretty decent right now. I mean, think about Otto Porter Jr. right now; he's fourth in 3-point percentage, and his overall field goal percentage on a team has got ways to go, but he's ranked 10th. But I mean, here's the thing right now. I think the biggest question is, what are they going to do right now wants to continue to get to more competitions on the level. Because here's the thing, we have seen some moments throughout the season. I mean, with this bowl squad, I mean, when we truly look at it, I mean, look at some of these games on the road right now against some good teams here. I mean, when you take a look at, I mean, winning teams, I mean, yeah, they're 0-3, but there's a couple you have to be encouraged about. I mean, right now, I mean, they went toe to toe. I mean, with LeBron James and the Lakers back on January 8th, only losing that game by 2 points, really had to make him earn that one. But remember, too, also, too, I mean, they didn't also have Anthony Davis, their forward slash center in that game. So I think he hit a night off right there. But still, right there, I mean, just give him a remarkable performance. I mean, in the Staples Center and also stay in the Staples Center, losing to a team like the Clippers right there by 3 points. I mean, when you look at the head coach right there, I mean, Lou Williams, what he's doing right now, trying to bring some of his input, his magic right there, try and get this Clippers team finally to a championship level team. As far as trying to take those next steps, and that's where we are right now. But I mean, truth be told, here we are. I mean, I know it's 1 month in, but at the same time too, I mean, I'm almost starting to wonder right now this year, I won't be surprised if they miss the playoffs one more time, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, just only because they're going to be growing up together. And whenever you have a new regime, I think you're definitely be looking at time and patience right now. I mean, with trying to get to the next step. I mean, that's just going to be the bottom line and the overall factor, I think, in that. So let me guys know what you think. Once again, you guys follow me on social media on Twitter and Instagram at Prodigy Richey. We're talking some Chicago Bulls basketball right now. And speaking of which, right now, I mean, keeping it around NBA. I mean, when we take a look at it too, I mean, with Chicago Bulls, before going any first, head coach Billy Donovan was talking about the guys right here with his roster. Was saying, "quote I think these guys are smart guys." Donovan said they know a lot of the stuff is self-induced. But I mean, you also look at a guy like Zach LaVine right now. He's leading the team with 51 turnovers for the season, 4.3 per game. I mean, yes, I mean, for right now, I mean, Zach LaVine, I mean, he's leading the team with 28.3 points per game and has been around quite a decent amount of time staying with this Bulls team here. And you start to wonder, I mean, where it's going to be. Are we going to be seeing the same result once again from this team and their crew here. I would really like to wonder, like, get your thoughts right now as we are just kicking things off here, or tipping things off, I should say, on this edition of Crunch Time here, which you catch me streaming live right now on my Facebook page, on deck at on deck CSR on Facebook. If you guys want to take a look right now, we definitely got a lot more to get into right now through this time here as we look at things right now. Uh, Billy Donovan continued to say we all got to pull together and work together and try to figure it out because this has been something these guys have dealt with for a while. I'm 12 games into this with them, and as a coach, you feel bad. You want to be able to do more, and I've got to try and find some different ways to try and help them as a group. Are the Bulls still considered a playoff team? I don't know. Right now, I had to say no, as unfortunate as that sounds. I mean, we knew going in. I mean, since I think last April is when it was announced when they were going to finally bring in this guy right here. I mean, and just finally just having a new front office. A lot of people have been clamoring for a long time here. But I mean, at the end of the day, too, I mean, this is just reality that we're in right now. I think a lot of people, you can't expect this thing to happen overnight. I would probably predict that they're going to be in the playoffs. It's going to probably be until the following year, 2021. I mean, if you really truly think about it, and right now for the 55th season of the Chicago Bulls, right now, I mean, it's definitely looking like an interesting start right now, and we'll see where this thing continues to go. But I mean, at the same time, too, I mean, versus losing teams, they still do a little bit more better. They're 3-4 overall in that regard. And right now, I mean, for the total throughout the season, I mean, when you look at it too, I mean, they're out rebounding their opponents by 22. I mean, which is not so much the issue, but I definitely do feel like right now, I mean, another big thing too. I mean, when you truly look at like how many times they're being like out rebounded on the defensive side of the ball, I think there's times where they're not getting enough of those defensive rebounds. I think that this is kind of playing them at times. I mean, when you really look at it, and we'll see where this continues to go. Like I said, but I feel like right now, I mean, that has been kind of some of improvement, but I just think just trying to finish games right there, just trying to finish games properly, develop that killer instinct there. And I think that will be the thing right there as we continue to look at stuff for this team as they look to try and strive and move forward for the time being here. So I look to continue to hold our collective thoughts on that as we look at it. So, I mean, for the Chicago Bulls, I mean, what do you guys think? Playoff team? I don't know. I probably have to say hold off right now for a second, but we'll see that. We'll go ahead and take a quick break real quick. You're watching and listening to Crunch Time here with me, Charles Prodigy Richey, host of the Mass Steel Podcast, on deck. Don't move a muscle.
What time is it? Game time!